All right. Call the meeting to order. Welcome to the Rotary Club of Beaumont, where together we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. Please mute your microphone if you have not done so yet. We're going to start. Tim Sedella, President of American Valve and Hydrant, is going to lead us in the invocation today. And our pledges will be led by Tish Cornell, Marketing Specialist, Common Sense Credit Union. Tim?
Thank you, Madam President. Let us pray together. Heavenly Father, I praise you as I ponder your unimaginable creation. You made me unique like no other. I praise you because I am wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works, my very self you know. Help me to see my strengths and weaknesses and the characteristics of others more as you see them, perfectly imperfect. Amen.
Now Tish will lead us in the pledges.
If everyone will put your hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, Tim and Tish. Now for our Board of Directors report, Jay Wilson, Board Secretary.
Thank you, Madam President. Good afternoon, everyone. Board of Directors met yesterday and a good bit of attention was given to club membership. And so the list I'm about to read is 2 months worth of action. December and January together, we terminated Slate Babineau, Carrie Dolan, James Fuller, Thomas Kelly, Tisha Self, Bo Weinbaum, Bailey Wingate, and John Worthington. We accepted resignations with regret from Kathleen Alsop, Sherry Arnold, Carly Broussard, Gary Coker, Amber Sawyer, and Ivy Pate. Because of the pandemic, our club has lost a larger number of members than usual this year, and we hope you will help us focus on recruiting new members to the club. Please contact Deborah Drago, Membership Recruitment Chair, and share any ideas about recruiting new members with her. I am happy to report who you all have met. The board approved the admission of one new member proposed by Rebecca Maxwell, Carlos A. Caballero, Process Improvement Engineer with Optimus Steel. His classification will be Steel Industry Engineering. Carlos was a member of the Lamar Rotaract Club, so we know he'll be a great new member. The board again wants to thank you for taking part in the poll. We've been doing at our meetings each week about when it will be the right time to return to in-person or hybrid meetings at the Elegante. Your honest input has been helping us to decide the best course of action. We are going to try to expand on the poll results we've been getting at the meetings to include all members, so please watch for more about that in the coming weeks. And lastly, with the poll results and the health department reports, we decided the best thing we can do as leaders of our community is to continue meeting using Zoom through March. We all hope that very soon case numbers will begin going down and the number of people vaccinated will go up so that we can begin with our hybrid meetings. That concludes my report, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. Now for some committee announcements. First up is Board Member Dana Tamaeus, Chair and past recipient of the T. Kelsey Lamb Senior Award for Business Ethics.
Thank you, Madam President. When I joined Rotary, I had an outsider's perspective that classified Rotary with several other professional clubs. But anyone who's been on the inside knows that Rotary has a unique, really strong emphasis on ethics and professionalism. The people who join and stay with this club have a commitment to service and to quality. One of my primary motivations in just coming to the meetings, going to the meetings, being around the folks, working on the projects, is just to be surrounded by people who are good quality people. And every one of us knows that the people around us are high quality. What we're asking each of you to do, each and every one of you, is to think about the people in this club and to write a paragraph. Tell us a name and tell us something that you've seen that demonstrates that one of your friends is a high quality human being. If you've been particularly impressed with somebody who's not a member of the club, then tell us about them too. The easiest way to send this information to us is to click on the link in the Rotary Gram that says access the nomination form by linking here. But you don't have to do it that way. You can send me an email. You can send Jackie an email. All we really need is your name and some phone number or means of contacting you, their name and a statement why you think that they're a quality person and worthy of the Lamb Ethics Award. If there's some specific incident where they've shown some spine and some fortitude, done the right thing, stood up for what's right, that's enough. Lifetime, that's plenty good. Everybody here admires somebody. Let us know who you admire and tell us, preferably, we need this by next Wednesday, February 8th. Tell us who they are and why they're worthy of being admired. Thanks. We need these nominations, and we look forward to having a good program on February 24 with you folks watching a new Lamb recipient.
Thank you, Dana. Next, I have Becky Mason, or hold on. I skipped a part here. Becky Mason or Lynn Hill is going to make an announcement about the Valentine Rotary Chorus. Or was I supposed to make that announcement myself, Jackie?
No, Becky was supposed to be here. Lynn does have an announcement though about SOAR.
Oh, okay.
Good afternoon, Rotarians. Speaking about SOAR, I will speak about the Valentine Rotary Chorus. You all saw how great the Christmas chorus was that we did virtually for the Christmas party. And it was also shown at the district party. So we're going to do one for Valentine's. It will be shown at the district meeting and we can share it here. We have a cute little Valentine's Day song that we will do. So anyone interested in joining our virtual course, again, just email me, lynnhillbd@gmail.com, or you can send me a message through the chat box and send me the part that you sing, and I will add you to the course. And as soon as we get the parts, we'll send them out and we'll record the music. And I also have an announcement for SOAR, so if I get my dogs away from me. SOAR is a brand new partnership that Beaumont Rotary is implementing with the Lamar University SOAR program. SOAR is an acronym for Student Occupationally and Academically Ready. BISD has 4 NEST campuses, and they're Peach MacArthur, Amelia, Charlton Pollard, and Blanchette. NEST is also an acronym for Navigating Excellence, Success, and Triumph. The space for the NEST is provided by BISD, and Lamar staffs it with the volunteers and also volunteers from the industry. So LU SOAR is made up of LU student leaders, athletes, Lamar Rotaract, and collaborative partners in the industry. They are Energy, ExxonMobil, Mason Construction, and the newest, us, Beaumont Rotary. So what do we need to do? If you're not a BISD volunteer, I need you to go in, sign up to be a BISD volunteer. When you sign up and fill out the application, select SOAR on your application. If you select SOAR, then they'll expedite the process and get it rushed through faster. Email or text me, let me know you're on board for SOAR. That's it. If you can do Zoom, then you can do SOAR. Because what we're doing, because of the pandemic, we're accessing the students and helping them with their reading virtually through SOAR. It's 30 minutes a week, time commitment. You're not tied to a specific time or a specific day. It's just whatever fits your schedule for that week. I'm given the schedule from Teresa Simpson or the SOAR coordinator, and I pass it along to the ones who sign up. You fill in where you can, and I pass it back. You send the link out, And it's that simple. You're signed up, you're Zooming with your students. They provide the books and everything. You're Zooming, you're reading with the students. And this is so important. You know, I was an educator for 20 years because this is a non-threatening way to read. It's not tied to STAR. It's not tied to AR points. It's just helping them to read. But of course, that will help with STAR and AR points. You're giving them their baby aspirin with orange juice, and it's going to help. And it's giving them, you know, a good way to introduce them to reading. So I need you all to sign up. The schools love it. The people love it. So, and I will, someone said, give it the URL. I'll send out the BSD link and just text me or email me, and let's sign up and go in and make a difference with those kids. I'm done.
Thank you, Lynn. Sounds fun. I've already signed up, so I'm excited to get my student. Now, getting into our meeting, I'm going to introduce our speaker today, Monty Chamberlain. He is the Employment Recruitment Coordinator for the Texas Health and Human Services Commission. In this role, Mr. Chamberlain is responsible for networking with employers across the state of Texas to share information about the many values disabled individuals can bring to an employer. Mr. Chamberlain serves as a link between employers and service providers, including local intellectual and developmental disability authorities, to increase integrated employment opportunities for disabled individuals. He has 36 years of state government experience. He began his career with the Texas Department of Transportation and worked with that agency for 18 years, progressing to his last position with the agency as Director of Administration for one of the agency divisions. For the last 18 years, he has been with the Texas Health and Human Services Commission. He was the Director of Administration for the Richmond State Supported Living Center for 8 years, and then assumed the role as the statewide Business Services Director in the State Supported Living Center Division, coordinating all business and support services for the 12 state supported living centers and overseeing the nearly $700 million budget at the time. For the last 6 years, Mr. Chamberlain has been in his present position working across the state to educate employers and provide increased employment opportunities for individuals with disabilities. Mr. Chamberlain holds a bachelor's degree from St. Edward's University in Austin, where he graduated with summa cum laude honors, and is credentialed by the state comptroller as a certified Texas contract manager. Welcome, Monty Chamberlain.
Thank you, ma'am. I want to, before I even get started, I want to say a thank you to Cindy and Jackie both for spending some quality time with me yesterday as we did a little test run. And it was well worth the time spent because we worked out some kinks with my presentation, some of the AV aspects that hopefully we won't run into today. Appreciate your introduction there. And what I want to talk to you guys about today, and it's just information sharing. Of course, I'm with the Texas Health and Human Services Commission, as Cindy noted. But what I'm going to talk to you about is why it's a good business decision to hire people with disabilities. I'm going to especially focus on individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. The term disabilities is very broad, and a large number of Americans have some type of disability. And that can even be high blood pressure, by the way. It can be categorized as a disability. But what I'm going to zone in today, again, is focusing on individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. You probably know of someone who lives in your community with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And so I'll start saying IDD. That's kind of the short acronym for that. But you may not realize many times that those individuals set employment to work in the community, earning minimum wage or better, working alongside other people without disabilities. They set that as a goal. They do receive governmental services, which they greatly deserve, but they want to become more independent in life and set the goal to go to work. So it does become very difficult for them to break out and to work with employers to take the blinders off, because, you know, it's just pretty much a lot of employers would have a certain idea of what someone can do. And quite frankly, as I've worked around the state in the last 6 years in this role, I've found that it's amazing what individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities can do in the workplace. It's not just cleaning tables. It's not just sweeping floors. They need an opportunity, and that may be where they get their start. But once given the opportunity, there's a myriad of things that they can do. So we have to think out of the box. So as a lead into that, and to tell you, to kind of set the tone a little bit about the audience, I'm trying to tell you about who we're trying to help and bring awareness of. I want to tell you that they say that a picture can paint 1,000 words. So what we're going to do with Ms. Chapman's help, hopefully, in just a moment, is play you a short video that's going to paint the picture so that you can see some of the employment settings and hear some testimony from the employers, especially the employers of 3 individuals who are working around the state. And after that video, we'll come back and we'll transition, and I will open up a PowerPoint-led presentation. So I want to tell you about the video also. As happens with virtual meetings, you may see a little bit of lag between the sound and the visuals of the persons speaking, but what Ms. Chapman will execute will have captions, so that'll help as well. So hopefully the video is very valuable, and after the meeting, if you guys desire, this link can be shared with you as well, because it's out there for anyone to use. It's a YouTube link. So Ms. Chapman, if you'll fire off the video.
I believe everybody, disabled or not, deserves a chance to make something of themselves. What I'm looking for as an employer is somebody who's motivated to work.
It's really important that people with disabilities are given the chance to work because they are so dedicated and they love their jobs and they love coming to work.
People have a choice of where they're going to spend their money. It could be for price, it could be for location or product, but it's also what the company stands for. So it's really important that businesses hire people that reflect the community.
It is good business to hire people with disabilities because it strengthens and adds diversity to a team.
Clarence is a courtesy clerk here, and he sacks customers' groceries, and then he takes them out to the car.
He just wants to help. He's that giving type person.
I'm a bagger. I sweep the stores and the floors up at Food Town.
He's self-motivated and has a great work ethic. It tends to rub off on other employees as well.
He's worked for our company since 2008. We're very proud and appreciative to have Clarence on our team.
Clarence has exceptional customer service skills. He brings a smile to work every day, and he knows more people by name here than I do.
Cole is a shining example of somebody who loves his job and loves his work.
I like working at Home Depot because I like helping customers.
What's unique about Cole is his zest for wanting to figure out things and offer more and be able to solve problems for both customers and associates.
We have a Home Depot app where you can look up products and locations, and he does not hesitate to assist customers when they come in.
He almost knows the entire store like the back of his hand, so if I have a question, I have no problem going to him and getting the right answer.
There's been a few times that we've been out and I've had Cole with me, and people will come up and they're like, "Is that your son?" They've told me stories of how I was in Home Depot the other day, and he's just such a great worker.
I have good friends at work.
I can't thank Cole enough for being the guy that he is, and the attitude that he brings to the store just makes it enjoyable for everybody.
Customers have a lot going on in their lives and their day, and they come in here to get help for whatever need it may be, and that smile to kind of help them know that we're here to serve and here to take care of them is something that we spend a lot of time training our associates, but with Cole, it's an automatic every time.
He's a great employee, and there's not a lot that I have to do other than just encourage him, fill his tank, and let him know he's doing a great job.
Eric makes a friend out of everybody. Everybody he talks to loves him.
I like everybody.
The first time I met him, he told me, I work all day and I work hard.
And that is true. Eric is one of the hardest workers I've ever been around. He does everything with a smile and a positive attitude.
He's very positive. He comes into work very high energy, and that energy transfers to our guests and to our employees.
That's something that warms my heart to see that Eric has found a second home with his co-workers there at Whataburger.
Whataburger is my family.
There are so many people in place from the state level to the local level to make sure that each one of our individuals is supported.
Employers find out it's an advantage to their business because it makes their customers understand they too are compassionate.
After watching Clarence work, I've gone ahead and hired several other people with disabilities and watched them grow with the company as well.
You're going to get an employee that wants to be there. You're going to get an employee that's going to show up on time. You're going to get an employee that's going to give you 100% every day that they show up. And they're going to make a positive impact on your company.
It's incredibly important for any business to reflect their community and give that individual a chance to show what they can really bring to the table.
It's a great opportunity for everyone. No one misses out.
Thank you for showing that video. I think it was choppy on my end, but I think you guys probably got the gist of it. And then again, if you'd like to view it or use it in any manner, that YouTube link can be made available to you. I'm going to start sharing my screen, and as I do so, I want to give you a little background info that I just stumbled across when we were making that video. Okay, those three guys, three different gentlemen, and it could have been anyone profiled. It happens that it was those three gentlemen that we profiled, and I'm going to ask Ms. Chapman real quick. Can you see that much of the screen right now? Okay, then I'm going to expand it to slideshow, hopefully, and we should be good. Okay, perfect. So just a quick little background on those three gentlemen before we get a little bit further into the presentation. And by the way, I'm monitoring my time. Just a couple of quick notes. I'm monitoring my time. I'm going to allow for questions at the end, and I'm going to give you guys a few minutes back for your meeting for any closing items you need before 1 o'clock. So I will stop speaking no later than 12:50, allow a few minutes for questions, and we'll try to go back and address any that are posed. So first off, Cole, he worked at Home Depot, as you saw. This is how employment for people who set that goal can change their life. Cole lives at home, okay? He lives with his mom, and he was at home every day. He has service providers that assist him with different things that he needs in his life, but employment changed his life dramatically. He works about 12 hours a week, which is perfect for him, and it's perfect for the store. It's exactly what they need, and he does use that app. I saw it firsthand. You heard one of the coworkers say, if I need to know where something is in the store, I go to Cole. Yes, they do. They do. They really do. Another little side note about Cole. We wrapped up all the camera equipment. Everything's taken down, and I'm wandering around the store. I'm standing back near where the registers are, and Cole was working at his station there at a register, and he had, I think it was 3 people in his line. The staff member next to him had no one in their line this given morning. And that staff member, as they should, came around and said, hey, I can take you over here if you'd like. I've got no one waiting. And those customers, who are, by the way, the daily probably contractors, those people that come in because it was a Thursday morning, not the weekend warrior type person trying to do their project. These were regulars there. They know him. And each one of them, the 2 in the line behind the person getting checked out, said, oh, thank you, but we're going to stay right here because we like to see Cole. Okay. It's nice to hire people with disabilities, especially when we're talking about individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities, IDD. But I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about how nice it is. I'm talking about how good of a business decision it is. It is such a good business decision right there. That example, customer service. Customers love someone who gives them good customer service. Have you ever been to Walmart and the first thing you hear going through the line is, when's my break? Cole doesn't worry about that. Cole worries about working and providing. He values the job. That's the thing about the folks we help and serve all around the state. They value the job. Okay, Clarence, real quick. Clarence worked at a store called Food Town. This was near Sugarland is where he works. Clarence is loved by customers as well. Everyone, and you know, he does take groceries out to the person's car and so forth. They love him. Well, Mr. Dandy made a statement to me, because we have found that businesses who hire one person with a disability see the extreme value of that person and what they bring to the table, and then they will hire more and more and more. Did you hear the grocery store manager, Mr. Dandy, make that statement after hiring Clarence and seeing how good of a worker he was? So I wanted to test that, because we've read that, but he said it on video, unscripted. All of that's unscripted. And when he said that, I said, well, I'm going to take him to task. So after the video equipment's wrapped up, I'm over there talking with him. And I said, Mr. Dandy, you made this comment. Is this really true? He looked at me real odd and he goes, well, yes, it's true. Why would you even ask? And I said, well, we hear that around the state, but you said it. I said, do you have anyone else working here with disabilities today? Or how many do you have overall? And he says, well, you know, Cole's been here a good while. I've hired many people, but I have 7 people at this store with disabilities. Any of them working today that I could meet? Yes, I have 3 others beside Cole. And he took me around the store to different departments, including the produce department, and in stocking on the floor and then stocking in the back room where there were truly other folks with disabilities. Proof positive that they will get the job done. Third, I don't want to leave Eric out. Eric has a couple of, well, really 3 awesome quick stories I'll tell you. First, Eric wanted to work so bad. First off, he came to the U.S. as a non-citizen and basically no one to care for him. He ended up getting residence at what was called a state-supported living center in San Antonio. He wanted to work very bad. He came here when he was very young, and as he aged, he was old enough, he said, I want to go to work. So they connected him and provided the service to help him find the job, and he ended up getting a job at Whataburger. They taught him how to use the bus system. He takes a transfer on that bus, not just a bus from one door to another. He goes to the bus stop, picks up the bus, goes to his transfer, picks up another bus, ends up near the corner near Whataburger. Well, Eric started coming to work 2 hours early every day. They said, we can't have that. He's here too early, sitting out in the lobby. So the service provider at the SSLC started working with him, and they got him down to work, showing up no more than 30 minutes early every day. They said, okay, we can live with that. How many people would love for an employee simply to show up on time every day, much less 30 minutes early? A couple of little side notes with Eric too, how his life changed because of unemployment. Number 1, Eric wanted to live in a more independent setting. So he worked with his provider there at the SSLC, and he ended up moving after our video through a number of steps that have to occur. He ended up getting an opportunity to live in a group home with other individuals in the community, in a neighborhood. Secondly, Eric made it very clear that he wanted to be a citizen. And he went through all the steps. And after this video was made, he continued. He was already in those steps and continued, and he is now a citizen of the United States. It's my belief in getting to know Eric that employment was a huge catalyst of all of that for him. So, who are we talking about here? Okay, the few little examples I gave are just a couple, just 3 examples, but there are individuals who live all around this state, and they receive services from either a private provider or a local intellectual and developmental disability authority provider. These are individuals who receive different types of governmental services because they deserve them. The largest in the state is called the Home and Community-Based Services waiver. HCS. There are various other waivers that individuals receive services from, and a waiver simply means that it waives off institutional services, that they can be served either in a home setting, a group home, or something similar. And then we move all the way down to the state-supported living centers, which are more intensive care, not ICU type, but it takes more intense care. But many of those individuals work in the community as well. So, who assists this target audience? Well, first off, I mentioned the LIDAs, okay? There's LIDAs and there's private providers. They provide the services, daily services to the individual that they need. One of the services that a provider is required to provide is something called employment services. If an individual sets a goal to work in the community, the provider is required to provide that service because they get reimbursed for it. So employment is set up as a goal on someone's plan, and then the provider is obligated to provide that service to help them with finding a job, helping them make application through Texas Workforce Commission, etc. Now, something that's very important for anyone in the business community to know is you may think, well, if I hired someone, there's going to be more challenges in communication and all these other things than with someone without a disability. Well, I've got something for you. When someone receives services and they receive employment services, that comes with a job coach, a very valuable asset for an individual. A job coach is someone who assists the person. They know the person, they're highly trained, and can help train that person on the job for you. They can be on the job site with that person for as long as you want them to be, and will be there until they and you mutually agree that the person is independent enough in that employment setting to wean the job coach off. And that's what you really want to do, right? But also, the job coach can come back. Maybe the person has garnered enough skills to move forward and higher up in the organization, and you can bring the job coach back in. No cost to the employer, a free training service. We want to focus on a person's ability as opposed to their disability. So just being a realist, you may have noticed when Cole spoke, okay, so there's a little bit of a speech challenge, but what he brings to the table is so much more than any little challenge that an employer might face. Another thing, the folks we serve are out-of-the-box thinkers. They are innovators to help solve problems on the job. And why do I say that? Just a quick example. Most all of us, until we start aging, and I'm going there, most all of us jump up out of bed every day, our feet hit the ground, and we go about our day with a lot of things that we take for granted. From the moment the alarm clock rings, and when we were traveling to work, we would jump up, go get our shower, whatever. If you have kids, you get them ready, you go about all these things, and you're on the job. Well, did you know that the very first challenge for a person with a disability can be at the moment they wake up, simply to get moving? If they use assistive devices, to utilize those. So the fact is, faced with those challenges, people with disabilities are innovators. They become innovators simply to navigate through the day with many things that we all take for granted typically. And they take that innovative thinking and it transcends to the job site. Now, being a realist, if you hired someone with a disability, there may be some challenges to overcome. If you've never hired someone with a disability, well, there may be a lack of understanding from other employees. They may feel nervous about saying the wrong thing. Coworkers would, right? And then there may be a couple of communication challenges. But over and over, just like the coworker stated with Cole, once that person's on the job and they see the desire that they have to do the job and how focused they are, they become a huge asset on the team and truly a valued team member. Now I'm going to scroll past a couple of these, but I'll touch on a couple. But there are a number of myths versus facts when you hire someone with a disability. One myth goes all the way back to the ADA of 1990. Some employers think, who have not hired a person with a disability in the past, they may think, if I hire someone with a disability, my workers' comp rates are going to go up. That's false. Your comp rates are determined by the hazard of the actual occupation and the number of accidents you've had on the job. The simple fact that you hire someone with a disability is not going to affect your comp rates. I want to touch on this one. Some employers would think, if they haven't engaged in this before, they're going to think, well, if I hire this person, they're going to be out a lot. You know what? It's exactly the opposite. They will be there. They will be there every day. They even have a provider who can assist them to make sure they get there. But where your challenge is going to be is the person with a disability will not want to take off work. Many employers state, I have to get them to take their vacation leave before they take it. So you're going to have someone who is there on time. Now, just to touch on this, there are a few tax credits for someone, for an employer who hires people with disabilities, and you can search those if you have an interest on the irs.gov website, and they're really designed for the small employer, okay? So I won't touch on those too much, because what you're going to get back is a good return on your investment by the amount of work that the person does. So let's roll the clock back 12 months. 12 months ago in Beaumont, Texas, how many businesses did you go by 12 months ago? And this will happen again in the future. We all know it will, right? If we can get to fall, get enough vaccines rolling, everybody's out there again. 12 months ago, help wanted signs everywhere, especially in entry-level positions. If you hire someone with a disability, especially, again, I want to focus on those with IDD, you're going to be able to help stop the bleeding for high turnover positions. When you hire this person to fill one of your high turnover positions, and it could be entry level, you're going to help stop that turnover, have someone there who, once they are trained, can work independently and reduce your turnover. So the first thing I want to tell you is it's an awesome return on your investment to stop the bleeding, to increase retention, stop turnover. Another thing I want to focus on. All right, at the onset I mentioned to you, we're not talking about something nice to do. We're talking about a good business decision. But the truth is, it's awesome marketing for your organization as an employer. Again, and by the way, I know some folks in the audience are retired. Some folks are not owners of a business. You may be staff level, but you also may be a manager. This information is for everyone, everyone. If you're retired, you can help us spread the message with the businesses that you spend your money at. If you're a hiring authority or a manager, or you oversee people who hire, you can encourage them to reach out to us so that we can steer the talent your way. All right, with marketing, it is an awesome marketing opportunity, to be quite frank, because your customers recognize that you hire everyone in the community, that you represent diversity across the board, and they will appreciate that, and it will help to build a long-lasting customer base. I'm not going to belabor this topic, but I mentioned to you that folks with disabilities are innovators in life. And for the very reason I stated, they face many challenges day to day, and they take that innovative technique that they use to get through the day and apply it to the job site. So what is the bottom line? These are all facts given to us from employers around this state and around the nation. First off, folks with disabilities are going to have job performance that is equal to or higher, and quite frankly, many times higher than those without disabilities, because they want to be there. It's going to help you with turnover, to reduce turnover, because they will be there, they will not walk out on the job. And again, they are experienced problem solvers because of the challenges they already face day to day. So to start in summarizing for a couple of moments with you, what are we really asking here? My job is to go around the state bringing this awareness to employers to let you know about this awesome human resource to help you at your job site. What we would love is for you to consider hiring these folks the same as you would everyone else. I can be your conduit to help you identify where the talent pool is in your area. I can be your conduit to connect you with the local authority in your area, to private providers. They're the talent agents who know the talent that has set employment as a goal. So first off, I'd love for you to consider doing this. You're going to have my contact information on this presentation. I did send the PowerPoint to Ms. Chapman if you guys would like it. You know, y'all are free to share that out. It has my contact information at the end. And I'd love to hear from you after the fact about, you know, I'd like to learn more. How do I find out how to tap into this talent pool? But another thing, if you would desire, we can get your company logo on the HHSC website. HHSC is a mega agency, of course, but this is a sample of some of the logos we have on a section of the HHSC website. It's the Employment First section. That's the two buzzwords for what we're all about. Employment first. We want service providers to focus on employment first to the individuals they serve, for those individuals who want to set the goal to work in the community in an integrated and competitive setting. But if you would like to have your company out there recognized as an employer who gets it, who recognizes the value of this, but you're not making a promise that you're going to hire anyone, you simply acknowledge it. If you want your logo out there with these other big companies, we can get that done for you. I just simply need you to sign a participation statement that says you're okay with us putting your logo on the HHSC webpage. And then there's a hyperlink that'll go to your site. You can go to your employment page or wherever you would like. This is my contact information, but I want to, if anyone is interested, I want to revise the email. It just changed very recently. This email will get you there, okay? But it just changed to monty.chamberlain@hhs.texas.gov. So at this time, I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and we are right on target, a minute ahead before 12:50, and I'll open it up to any questions that you have. And if they're in the comments, I'll scroll back through and see. I'm just looking right now.
One.
Yes, ma'am.
What is the potential raise in minimum wage going to do to this program?
Well, it won't change anything with the focus, the goal. I think it could, I think it's just my personal opinion. This is not a agency opinion. It's going to impact businesses, right? It's going to have an impact on businesses. Businesses will have to raise their prices, I think. It will potentially have an impact on the audience that we're talking about. But because most of the folks we serve enter the job market at minimum wage with the hope of climbing up and learning skills, they don't expect to stay there. They expect to learn and move through the organization. So my big picture statement to you would be that it's going to affect them in the manner that it affects businesses. In other words, it won't change the focus that we all have, and for them to go into the job market, it may become more competitive for them, but I think a lot of it's going to be the tale of the tape will be just what does happen. And there's going to be, it's a whole myriad of things, but it's more than just this. So that's a roundabout way to answer your question. And really, I guess I'm going to say it's not going to change the program, but I'm not sure how it's going to affect the individuals and being competitive.
Thank you. That's a concern.
Yes, ma'am. And it is. It's going to be across the board. Thank you very much. Okay, how about any other questions? And maybe concerns you might have for your business if you hired someone, or what you want to know more about the program, anything at all.
Monty, I'd like to say that friends of mine who own Ritter Lumber Company, if you've ever been to the Ritter Lumber Company on Highway 105, they have hired handicap. And I mean, you talk about some good, smart people. And if you ever go into the Ritter store there, I mean, they're really sharp on what they're doing. Matter of fact, one of them is a little cousin of mine that works there, but they do hire. There's one young man in a wheelchair, but they hire those, and they're very efficient and do a great job. And you can count on them when you go in there to serve you in any way that you need. It's at Ritter on Highway 105. It's Ritter Lumber Company.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. And I will make a point when I'm in Beaumont to go visit with them. I appreciate you saying that, because it reiterates what we say from a government perspective, right? From the state agency perspective. And to have someone locally witness this in action and to see the positives, we do hear this. And almost every presentation I make, someone will state what they've seen about a local employer. And I always love that, because that is the proof in the pudding, quite frankly. So thank you very much.
Did you see the question in the chat, Ronnie?
No, ma'am. Is it the good news stories?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So so Mr. Turner, real life. Okay. Real life. I'm going to really talk about all the good stories, but I will also answer the question. Realistically, as with any employee, there is potential for things to not work out. A number of things can happen. With the best intentions, sometimes an individual can be placed in a job setting that's not the best for them. And even though the service provider tries very hard to find the best setting because of the work that they've done with the individual in advance, in training, to learn the individual's desires, where the individual's real skills are, sometimes a person may just be dead set on working in a certain setting. So even if it wasn't the best fit for them, they may end up there, or something unexpected may happen. So yes, sometimes it doesn't work out perfectly. Now, what the employer has on their side in that case is they can call the job coach back up and say, you know, this training you gave them wasn't right, or maybe the person isn't complying with our policies or whatever, and you treat that person, that employee, just like you would everyone else, okay? You can choose to approach the job coach and ask them to help retrain the person, or if you don't feel like that's going to work, you treat that individual the same as you would everyone else, and you proceed with reassigning them if you desire, or dismissing them just like you would everyone else. One other thing I want to mention is the job coach is going to make you, the employer, aware of who this person is, okay? They don't want to blindside you with some challenge down the road you might see. Now, this doesn't happen often, but when we serve folks with intellectual and developmental disabilities, that's a diagnosis. That's an IQ diagnosis of 69 or lower. But many folks also face mental health challenges, a total different diagnosis. That diagnosis can impact someone's behavior. So within the things that they're allowed to share, a coach will let you know before you make a hiring decision the things that they can share. And that might be, they're not going to push someone into a setting where that's going to be a challenge, in other words, okay? So, Mr. Turner, my statement overall is that just like everyone else in the work environment, just like everyone, there can be hiccups, but there is an ally in the service provider, an ally in the job coach to give someone more support, and you have more of a known factor of who you're hiring than anyone else off the street.
Thank you, Mr. Chamberlain, for joining us today. Good questions, group. Thank you. You were right when you said a picture paints 1,000 words. That video was very, very touching. It hit me right in the heart. I have a cousin who looks very much like Cole, who lives in a situation like this. So it's very inspiring. And when you say that these people are innovators because of the challenges they face, that's so true. They make things, hard things look easier sometimes. And I too enjoy going into businesses that hire the IDD population. So thank you so much for sharing the good stories and some of the challenges that we might face when our businesses decide to hire these individuals. In your honor, we'll be making a donation to Rotary International, our foundation, in one of our areas of focus, which is economic and community development. We thank you again for joining us today. Terrific presentation, and we were able to learn a little bit more about what's available out there to us as both consumers and employers.
Thank you for having me.
Some reminders, please submit a nomination for the T. Kelsey Lamb Senior Award before February 8th. I think Dana said that's next week. I think it's the week after, but time is passing fast. Get with Lynn Hill if you'd like to take part in the Rotary Chorus, or if you would like to sign up for SOAR. Next week, our speaker will be Pam Williams, Customer Service Manager with Entergy. I'm sure she'll have some updates on the meter system and other good news from Entergy. And I will say, I gave them a lot of money last month running my meter. So let's close with the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. And I was really reminded of the four-way test today through Monty's work, because we do, just so many things came up with that as far as building goodwill and being beneficial to all concerned. So it just takes on a little more special meaning today. Four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. First, is it the truth?
The truth.
Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Have a good week. Go out and find opportunities to lead and serve. For joining us today.